Oh, that's great. Anyway, so I've been lying here and I'm thinking about um the fact that there's something I should have done that was like months ago and I didn't. And I was just thinking in my head about it, and like kind of making up excuses, like first I was thinking, well, the first thing I thought was like, ugh, I don't like to admit this, like I can't believe I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but we're telling the truth here, right? Um, so like I was kind of imagining a conversation with the person that I was supposed to do this for. And because that's what we do, right? We all kind of talk to people in our heads, or is that me? Um, but I was thinking like, oh, okay, well the first thing that came to my mind was a lie. And I'm like, no. But I don't like that that's the first thing that came into my mind, you know what I mean? Um, so, obviously not to that. But then the next thing was like these excuses that came into my head. You know what I mean? In my mind, I wasn't saying excuses. I was like, well, I take complete responsibility for it, but, my mom was sick and da da da, like, just like all these, but not like saying like, no, I really, I should have made better choices, but still giving myself something to feel better about as far as the choices, like not be so hard on myself as far as the choices I made, which are the one are, I mean, the result, not getting this done on time, is completely my fault. Every single choice I made led to that result. And but in my head I was kind of softening the blow for myself, just by giving myself, really, I mean, obviously it wasn't the person that I owed this to. It was in my head. This conversation was completely in my head. But it was I was softening the blow for myself. I didn't like this. I don't like that I did this. I really don't. I really am very, and this is, see, like, this is the crazy thing. Like, I'm angry at myself. I'm upset at myself, and I've been upset at myself every single time I made a choice that resulted in this result, that you know what I mean? It's accountability. And I'm just realizing that, as I really recognize that in myself, I'm realizing that for a very long time, at least, if not my whole life, I have been letting myself off the hook for choices. Either thinking, not that I didn't have a choice, but that for all of it, I mean, like the choices I made were the choices I made, regardless of whether or not I was depressed, regardless of never. See, and there's some excuses, right? The choices are my choices. And I'm realizing that I have not been taking full responsibility for my choices to myself. I mean, some responsibility, yes. I mean, and blaming myself a lot, but that's not responsibility. And that's not accountability. That's just anger and resentment turned towards myself, which are not useful things. But I think this is a good thing for me to realize, even though it's like late in life for me to be really realizing this, to really coming to this conclusion. It's like, yeah, that's a little obvious. Shouldn't you have been taking responsibility for things for a while now? And I did. Well, I did. At one point, I did do the things that I wanted to do the things that I said I was going to do to myself, and I did. But somewhere along the way, I stopped, and I started making excuses, softening the blow. I wouldn't say excuses, but letting myself off the hook. And up until now, it's felt like, I don't know, like somehow I deserve to be let off the hook. Like, you know, but it's in a different way this time though, because before I was very angry at myself and blaming myself and guilty feeling and all the stuff, negative things towards myself. And so the idea that I need to do something became this overwhelming thing. It became this impossible task. This anxiety was surrounding it. And yes, I chose not to do it because it was giving me like immense amounts of fear, but I still chose not to do it. But the point is, my feelings surrounding it was overwhelmed and not believing I can do things. Like not having faith in myself that I can actually do things. And always thinking, well, you know, I'm not going to do it, so why even start? You know, I'm just going to fail, why even start? You know, I'm just going to give up, why even start? But now I'm thinking like not angrily at myself. I mean, angrily at myself about it, but not like self-flagellationally, like cripplingly angry at myself. I'm frustrated because I did have the ability to do it, and I let myself off the hook. But I know now that I could have done better, which is a good thing for me to realize. Because before, letting myself off the hook wasn't an option. Well, it was an option. It was what I was doing, but I was also punishing myself for it by not doing the next thing and screwing up my life even more. It's a really weird thing. It's a really strange thing. So I put a little stuff in my hair. I don't know if it looks a little greasy, but meh. So now I'm not punishing myself. I'm pushing myself. I'm frustrated at myself because I know that I could have done better, which is a better place to be coming from than hating myself and not believing I can get anything done. So this is a really good thing, despite the fact that taking complete ownership for things in my life, my choices that I've made, should have been something I did a long time ago. But at least I'm doing it now. So I can be grateful, I can be grateful for even mistakes that I make. That's an interesting thing. I'm grateful I made this mistake because it's allowing me to come to this conclusion, this desire to, not desire, but you know, this mindset shift that I'm noticing. It helped me notice this mindset shift. So I just want to say, you can even be grateful for your mistakes. So I'm going to say to you, as I always do, that you need to remember that you can always choose to have a grateful night